Namaste and greeting to everyone joining us today. Estafet is a journey to meet regression therapists over the globe, and it gives me immense pleasure and joy to host this Estafet and meeting new regression therapists every time. Today, we have with us a remarkable human being, clinical psychologist, president, and co founder of the Romanian Association for Hypnosis and Regression Therapy, published author, and an international trainer, accredited by Earth, and her husband's school is accredited by Earth Association for Regression Therapy. A deeply insightful soul, Ruxandra Bulzan. Heartiest welcome, Ruxandra. Welcome to Estafet.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
First of all, Ruxandra, I'm so curious about the book. Before we start, can I have a look at, the book you have published?
Yeah. In fact, it was published in Romania in 2021, and last year it was translated also in English. It's a book written for people that are interested in regression therapy, and most part of the book it's about case studies about clients with whom I worked during quite a few years before publishing the book.
Oh, that's really wonderful. So you have this book in Romanian language first, and
Yeah,
then it got translated.
yeah.
Wonderful. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
maybe I'll get a chance to read in English at least.
Yeah.
Dear Alexandra, you have come so far. You have written, you have taught, you have worked with so many workshops, so many clients. What have been your journey so far? Could you share some moment how you have come to regression therapy? How have been your journey? Come
The,
as a
sto-
client and then progressed, or I mean, all yours.
the story is quite long, but I'll try to shorten it. Everything started when I was a child, around 4 years old. I start having some sort of flashes that I didn't understand at the time. It was about a past life. And because in Romania we don't have this culture, even if I tried to explain to my parents what was happening, they weren't able to understand. So I just stayed with these experiences for years and years until very many years later when I was doing a process, a sort of meditation. It was not intended to be a regression therapy, but because things are happening, I went back into those flashes or memories, and I was able to explore a bit more and understand more about what was happening there. And the most remarkable part was that after exploring and working just a bit on those memories, I could see how my relationships completely shifted. In fact, it was about getting a relaxation in my relationships that I didn't know it's possible. And I thought that being anxious about relationships is quite normal. And after seeing that amazing result, at the time, I didn't know much about regression therapy. I believe I read probably a couple of books from Brian Weiss, but after seeing that result in my life, I was so amazed that I decided to deep into this idea about regression therapy. And this is how I discovered that this is a technique, this is a sort of therapy, and the changes that it can bring to people are absolutely amazing.
And as a child, like your journey from 3 years to the moment you actually found how your past lives are related, how have been that journey for you? Was it
Say it
happy
again.
or sad, or how was it that? I mean, how have been your journey as a 3-year-old who did not know anything with the flashes of this past life and no one around you trying to understand what you're saying, which was your truth, but your truth was so far from the people's truth? How have been that part of the child till you became a regression therapist?
In fact, I didn't know at the time for sure that it was a past life, because there were a few perceptions, let's say, because it was more about what I was feeling on a sensory level than it was about the images. And it was hard for me to even put it in the words. Many years later, I discovered that what I was perceiving, it was a scene from the war. But when I was a child, I didn't have this understanding and these concepts about what that is. It was just a sensory experience that I couldn't understand. I can say that it was a lot of confusion because I didn't understand what was happening, and the adults around me weren't able to understand or even accept what was happening.
Mm.
And I believe this what made this for me, and what was the result was that since I was a quite young child, I felt the need to understand what's beyond this physical world. And because I felt it's something more there.
Mm.
So because the religion was the only path that I thought would bring an answer, this was the first path that I took. Um, that being said, when I was a teenager, I decided to go to the theological high school.
Mhm.
In my need to understand what's beyond this world. But of course, I couldn't find all my answers there.
And your life took you to the right path.
Yeah.
Ruxandra, everyone have, all the regression therapists have their own flavor, their own specialty in whatever work they do. What has been your specialty in the regression work you do?
I'm a very, very, very analytical person, above average. And because I'm very analytical, the way I approached spirituality and regression therapy was from a very analytical mind. Um, I would say that my specialty is combining spirituality and regression therapy with classical psychotherapy, because I believe there are a lot of tools that we can use there. I really like to explain what we are doing, that it's quite a bit, let's say, boo hoo hoo, we are saying in Romania, in as much as I can, very logical terms. And this brings me a lot of analytical clients because they can relate to this kind of speech, let's say.
Hmm. And they get that space, the required space you can provide them. So,
Yeah. And because I understand how is to have a very analytical mind,
mm,
and the fact that a very analytical client needs to understand a few things before just letting go and be in the process, it's easy for me to address that, to address our therapy from that perspective. And because I'm combining spirituality and regression therapy with the classical psychotherapy, I believe this can reach a category of people that are not as easy to be reached by just telling them you need to trust the process and go with the flow.
and you conduct so many workshops, in annual convention, World Congress. I believe you conducted recently workshop on autoimmune diseases. Before that, it was karmic pattern. So, what kind of workshops you already have? in plan right now?
For the regression therapists or for people?
For regression therapists and people both. So you have
Mhm.
conducting for both.
Basically, my activity it's split it in two directions. On one
Okay.
side, I'm teaching regression therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm preparing therapists to be. So I have a school, as you said, accredited by EARTH in regression therapy in Romania. So I'm leading that training. That is a 6 module training. And for my graduates, I have a yearly program on mentorship and supervision, meaning that every year they can sign in, and in the mentorship and internship, year by year, I'm teaching new methods that can be combined with the regression therapy. And then the other direction is that I have programs and usually online workshops for people that are just interested in what this is and want to experience that. Recently, I believe the last program that I developed is called Your Inner Journey. It's an online program where we meet 10 weeks in a row for
Okay.
2 3 hours, and we are working using regression therapy on the major areas of life, like romantic relationships, relationship with the family, the relationship with the money, health, repetitive patterns, repetitive emotions, and so on. And basically, during 10 weeks, we are going week by week and we are doing a regression session on a certain subject. Like when we are having the romantic relationships, we are speaking about what's the impact of past lives on the romantic relationships. And then in the second part of the workshop, we are doing a regression session on that subject. And basically, this is the whole program, having 10 meetings.
Oh, that's very interesting. And that's for regression therapist.
No,
And the
that's for people that are just interested
just
in
interesting,
regression.
knowing the field.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice. Could you share some of the interesting cases or any case which has been very close to your heart? Maybe with your client or maybe your own case as a client.
One of the most remarkable um, sessions that I ever had,
Mm.
it was a by proxy regression.
Mhm.
Um, a client of mine called me at some point saying that her brother it's really ill. He was in the hospital in the intensive therapy care. He wasn't able to breathe. He was breathing with the help of the machines. And she asked me if she can come and have a by proxy process for him. It was easier because we've been working together before for herself. So we went into the process with the intention to work for her brother, and we've done a regression, wanting to go to the cause of the difficulty to breathe by himself, because it wasn't a clear medical explanation on that. Um, I remember that we found a past life where he hanged himself in that past life. We've done the exploration, we've done the healing, and we've done also the body therapy part where we took the rope from his neck. It was a normal process, nothing, let's say, special. What was really amazing was that the next day she called me and she said, imagine that by coincidence, last night my brother started breathing by himself.
Wow.
And what is really amazing for me in this process, it's the fact that it was a by proxy process. You know very well that in our work, many skeptic people are putting all the results we are getting on the placebo effect. And I'm not saying that in a certain degree it's not a placebo effect in our work, because it's in everything, the placebo effect. But and when you're working with a client, you can say, you know what, a part of that it's placebo, and it's fine for me. But working with a by proxy for a man that he didn't know we were doing that process,
True, true.
that's a case when all the placebo, it's out of any discussion. And something as remarkable as him starting to breathe by coincidence a few hours after we finished this process where he hanged himself and we had to take the rope out of his neck, feels absolutely amazing.
Is actually it's amazing. And it's not a coincidence. It's spirit in action. It's all energy.
Yeah.
Person who can't even speak and is not aware of the session having the result is the beauty of regression therapy sessions.
Yeah.
That's really, really wonderful and amazing.
And it's clear that we cannot speak about any subjectiveness in this kind of process, you know?
True. Ruxandra, you are coming from a place where past life regression are not that easy to accept. Maybe now it is, but the time you started, it would have been difficult. What have been your challenges in this journey so far?
In our culture, it is difficult to accept past lives,
Mhm.
religious based mainly. It is now, and it was even harder 15 years ago when I started to do this in Romania. Um, I came across many skeptical people. But what really helped me during all this way was the fact that I decided for myself that my job it's not to convince anyone of absolutely anything. Because when I was a teenager, I went through a very strong religious period of time. I can easily understand that paradigm. And I can look at myself 20, 25 years ago. It's more than 20, in fact. um, and I can see that at that time when I was in those beliefs, no one could have convinced me of the things that I'm saying now. So it's very clear for me that I have absolutely no intention to convince anyone of absolutely anything. In every single workshop that I'm holding, I'm saying, this is my truth today that I'm sharing with you. Take whatever resonates with you, because my job is to speak for the people that are open to hear this message that I'm saying. And even if in the beginning was harder because there were less people than today open to that, I felt that it was quite easy, because having this mindset about I'm speaking to those that are ready to hear, and I have absolutely no attachment in people that aren't on the point to hear what I'm saying now, this made things much easier for me, you know. So step by step there were more and more people coming towards me, people that were curious, were willing to hear. I'm more than happy to explain how this works for people that are genuinely curious and open. I had a lot of people, during these years coming to me saying, you know what, I'm not sure that this exists, but I'm open and willing to hear this perspective, and I'm more than happy to have this talk. And it's fine. I'm not willing to have any conversation with the people that are saying, I'm sure this doesn't exist, convince me. No, absolutely not. That's not my job.
And I would say that's a very good mindset. And I would say that's a very good mindset you carry forward as a president for the association, Romanian association, that open mind where people can come freely and be open to it and see the result themselves.
During these years, I had even clients that they believed that past lives do not exist,
Mm.
but they heard other people having results, good results working with regression therapy. And they decided that all these experiences are a sort of projections, but they could see how working on these projections really helped people around them. And whenever I had this sort of client, I was really happy to work with them, because if the client is calling them projections, even if I have absolutely no doubt that past life exists and so on, if the client believe it's a projection, but working on that projection, it's really helping and it's making his life better, I'm more than happy to work with this wording.
That's really, I mean, good take. At the end, result matters.
Yeah. If
Mm.
the client is calling them past lives or projections or whatever, is the client's life a
Yeah.
little bit better after, then we're good. I'm often saying I'm not a historical person. You know, my job is not to do research in history. I'm a therapist. My job is to help people have better lives. So
Yeah.
everything else is whatever.
Alexandra, now Anna's question, Anna Opria's question. She's asking, what is your plan and vision to expand and spread this regression therapy over the globe?
Ooh, no pressure. um, I'm working on my second book.
Mhm.
Hopefully soon it will be ready. First, it will be sure in Romanian and then in English. Um, and I'm keep on holding the regression therapy training in Romania. And lately, I opened more about the idea of teaching my advanced workshop to the international community. Recently, I've got a few invitations in teaching abroad. It's nothing clarified yet, but my intention is to start, because I have quite a few advanced workshops put in place for the therapist. My intention is to start teaching more this advanced workshop for the regression community,
Mhm.
for
And
the
I wish
therapy.
you all the best for that.
Thank you.
The signature part of our estafette is to pass the baton to the next guest. So I would like to ask now, who is next?
Next, it's a dear friend of colleague of mine,
Mhm.
Julia. She's working in Holland,
Mhm.
and yeah, I believe she's a good choice for the next one.
That's very nice. And what would you like to ask her?
Mm, because she's working in Netherlands,
Mhm.
and she's combining regression therapy, I know, with constellations.
Mhm.
I would like to ask her, how does she see this cooperation between regression therapy and constellation going further?
That's a wonderful question and very insightful again. And finally, what will be the message? Now we are nearing the end of the interview. What will be the message for Earth Association?
Mm, I believe it's very important for regression therapists
Mhm.
to stay together and to learn together. And being part of Earth Association, I believe it's a huge opportunity. I do remember having a student coming to a convention at some point, and she said it was so good. I felt at home because be I felt being in the middle of people like me. She said, usually in my normal life, it's hard to speak about all these things that we believe in. And I felt that everyone was speaking my language. And being part of Earth Association, coming to the congresses, to meet other people, learning during the conventions. Earth is having this wonderful, amazing project where we are offering free webinars for the members. It's absolutely amazing. In our field, one of the most important things is continuing learning. And in Earth, we have these amazing people with huge experience that are willing to share for free their
Yeah.
amazing experience and knowledge. And my message is just take this opportunity, be in Earth, because it's important for the client to see that you are part of an association, you are following a certain standard. Come to the congresses, be with the colleagues, learn from people, join to the free webinars, be there with the mind open, ask question. It's amazing to have this opportunity.
So true, so true. And in such a connected place, such a bonded place, everybody learns even more. That's
Yeah,
really wonderful.
it's it's a cognitive learning and it's a personal development process.
True. Amazing. And this is the message for therapist as well as Earth Association that
Yeah.
connects. Thank you so much, Ruxandra, for your wisdom, your presence, the work you do, the mindset you have, the space you give to the clients as well as to the fellow therapist. And you have been working in many of the committees in Earth Association as well. Thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for giving this time.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was such a joy to share this.
And everyone, all of you, thank you so much for watching. Stay connected, stay curious, and keep exploring. The message which Ruxandra has given today is, is so true. If you get connected, even as a client, you learn, but more so for all the regression therapists, it's important to learn, sharpen your intellect, learn from each other, be curious, and stay connected. Thank you so much, and see you soon with Julia. And thank you so much once again, Ruxandra. Love talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it was sharp and it was quick.
Yeah.